Hello and welcome. I am Kayan Spencer, your host and host, and welcome to Buzz Behind Sports, a podcast initiative by the International Institute of Sports Management, where we invite guests and celebrities to gain an understanding about their perspective of working in the sports industry. Today, we have a very special guest of his own kind, Mr. Ramji Srinivasan. Mr. Srinivasan is a strength and conditioning coach who trained the 2011 World Cup winning cricket team and also trained the players of Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings. Please welcome Mr. Srinivasan. Good afternoon, sir. Lovely having you on our podcast for the first time. Just to get the clarity in front of the audience, could you tell us more about what exactly strength and conditioning entails and how is it different from physiotherapy and other medical professions?
Thank you for the invite, by the way, and always pleasure to be here. Yeah, it's a good question to start off with. You put me on a spot. Okay. The role of strength and conditioning and physiotherapy is highly being misunderstood in the country, and still we are not very clear about it. What's the role and responsibilities which each profession need to take? There is a crossover on certain parameters, and there is a huge, we are like two rail lines. At some point we meet, at some point we depart. So as far as strength and conditioning goes, our responsibility lies in testing the athlete, giving them the workout schedules and protocols and checking their workload management, doing the assessments, following up with multi-prong approach as far as multi-role of fitness components is concerned, etc., etc. Not these are the main components. Right. But as far as physiotherapy goes, it's injury prevention and cure and screening, musculoskeletal screening, FMS screening, predominantly treating injuries and getting the athletes to get fit to play. And then they transfer that particular athlete, once they are pain-free, to the strength and conditioning to make them even fitter for the sport and for the skill and for the game. There is a funny cliched word, says trainers prepare and physios repair. And in India, it should not be opposite. Trainers repair and physios prepare. You have to have the roles very clearly. And I'm afraid we are still not there in India. That is the realistic, point. Right. Miles to go, but it is not rocket science to understand what the roles and responsibilities are. Yeah. But somebody has to put the head on the block and make that effort and make the change. Right. And youngsters are doing that now. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah. So, you joined the industry way back in the 90s, 92. So how do you think the strength and conditioning industry, from when you first joined, you were one of the first strength and conditioning coaches in India, how has that changed to today? And of course, there's a lot of room for improvement. And how would you compare it to strength and conditioning abroad?
When it started, it was like a prehistoric age. We are in a Neanderthal state. Now it's highly advanced. We are in a Star Wars state. Things have evolved over the last 30 years. And of course, growth is bound to happen. But what happens with growth? Is there a success? Is there a progress? These three are different parameters. So we need to understand, along with the growth, is there progress? Along with the progress, is there success? Right. Yes, it has grown exponentially over the last few years. Initially, it was very difficult because we didn't have anybody to have as a reference point for us to learn, for me to learn and understand, to see whether I'm doing it right or wrong. It was more or less self-taught and trial and error. Then I went to Australia and did my strength and conditioning course, and multiple other courses. So it gave me a better insight and understanding what a huge field it was. I'm just a drop in the ocean, and my knowledge is also a drop in the ocean. It made me really humble to the day that I don't know anything. Yeah. Miles to go before I sleep as far as all these things are concerned. But I'm trying to keep myself updated in latest technology and knowledge what is happening around the world and research. But huge difference, massive difference. and how the ecosystem has changed is a lot of educated youngsters are embarking on strength and conditioning and sports science and sports management, which is a phenomenal uh, sign. As far as I'm concerned, that's how the ecosystem grows. That's how we leave way for the youngsters to come in and take over with the fresh ideas, fresh mindset, fresh protocols, process in place. That's how the transition should happen. As far as I'm concerned, I'm extremely positive about our youngsters doing very well in this field. But still, as I told you earlier, miles to go before we catch up with Western countries or developed countries in sports science, maybe 30, 40 years behind.
Do you feel it's more of the technology which is lacking, or are we lacking institutes that provide
from infrastructure onwards?
Right.
From infrastructure, technology, we have equal technology now. But how many people can understand the technology and apply? And how many do we have enough? What do you call backup specialists for that? No, we don't have.
Right.
We don't have that. That is reality. We can claim on Instagrams and social media, everybody is a sports scientist and making the difference, redefining fitness, redefining sport, which is good to hear and get your business going. But reality sucks.
Yeah.
We know how reality, what reality is shown during Olympics, during World Championship, or in any sport for that matter. How we perform and come out successfully, competing with the best of the best.
Right.
That is important. Not competing with the worst and winning. No, we have to compete with the best of the best and then win. Then we have our process and protocols are endorsed.
Right.
Otherwise, we'll just keep talking. As we are very good in talking, because of that, talking and logic, we are very good. That's why we are very good in software. Because we can glide through any situation by logic, whether it's victory, failure, or abysmal performance. We have a logic for everything. So we don't have logic for winning, but we have logic for losing.
That's very
Why don't we do analysis? Why did we win? For what reason we won? How we won? Why we won? All those things you need to sit down and analyze.
So the why question is not being asked.
Why question is not being asked at all. Right. Or we are in Z state. After Y is Z. I think we are sleeping still. Which we have been talking about India being a sleeping tiger, sleeping giant in sports. I have heard this for last 40 years since 1982 Asian Games. We haven't done anything about it. No, how many people came through the system? Yeah.
Not many.
Can you name 10 athletes who came through the system here and won accolades for India? Don't count cricket. Cricket has got a robust system happening.
I don't think we can.
No, it is not.
Individuals, we can't think of 10 athletes except of cricket in India.
Cricket is not into the system. They have a phenomenal ecosystem where we have performed well. Right. There are also arguments that cricket is played only between 8 countries. So what? American baseball is played within 4 countries. They call themselves world champions. So you see half cup full. You don't see half cup empty. Don't give excuses for Olympic sport. For hundreds of people participate. So what is your goal in that? What is your coach's achievement in that? What is the support staff's achievement in that? Why you are talking like this? It is a negative mindset. We discredit our own sport, which is we are doing very well, and try to bring in the sport which we are non-existent in top 50 itself, 100 itself. Right. Then you talk about logic and this is not Olympic sport, that is not Paralympic sport and all these things. Please, give us a break. Give youngsters a break. Don't spoil them with negative thoughts.
I think the problem lies deeply in the grassroots level, definitely.
100%.
And the infrastructure that is there for grassroots.
New broom sweeps clean in our country.
Definitely.
When we started off with all fanfare, I have seen enough projects being dumped or not even answered, like LTAD system, long-term athletic development system. Where is it now? You can name by any way. You can rename it, rechristen it in any way, and call it in different name, but still the process is not up to the mark. Right. We identify talent. Are we following it up with the process and protocols in place to make them champions? Somewhere in the middle we lose steam. There is no funding or there is no enough staff, X and Y, and there are 1,001 reasons to fail. As I told you earlier, 1,001 reasons you can give why it failed. Make 10 reasons why it cannot be successful. So we are seeing, most of us seeing only half cup empty. Government can do only up to a certain level, but the people, those who are involved in the system, claiming to be godfathers in the system and claiming to be game changers in the system and so clean in the system, why can't they do anything about it? Just keep talking and warming the chair. One of the major problem in our country is all wrong people in the right place and right people in the wrong place. That has to change. Then only you will have people taking responsibility for their action. Otherwise, we'll keep talking the same rhetoric next 50 years down the line.
Right.
We can have the same conversation when I'm literally on my deathbed. You'll have the same question. I'll answer the same answer. Whether anybody listens or not, at least we vented our feeling, vented up our opinion.
Yeah.
We don't want to do some window dressing and please everybody. Oh, he said that, he's nice, so I'll give him a contract. No, sorry. For me, country comes first, then the people.
Okay. Speaking of the country, you weren't only part of cricket. You're also part of the F1 Formula One team. And tell me about that experience. How is it changing a sport completely? Because F1, you were also part of the rally team, and you the strength and conditioning coach for the rally team. So a lot of people think that F1 and rally driving have pretty much the same thing and they're on the same level, but there's a lot of difference. So could you run me through that?
Yeah, I've been very lucky to be part of Naren Karthikeyan and Karun Chandra with the Formula One, when they were with the Formula One team and of course Indian team.
Yeah.
And then I was with Naren Kumar and also trained Gaurav Gill when they were the Indian rally team. I was also part of that team and went to Greece and Finland and other places to see that, even with Naren and Karun. Of course with cricket and then also with table tennis. I was part of the Indian team and to World Championship with Sharath Kamal Satyan, still train with me, all the TT players. It's different ball game altogether actually, and different world, different mindset, completely different scenario. It's a huge learning curve on every aspect, because my aspiration to own a car even is Formula One people's lifestyle.
Yeah.
My dream is their lifestyle. My aspiration is their lifestyle. So getting into seeing that sort of thing is mind blowing. At the same time, to see the drivers committed and dedicated to their respective profession is absolutely unbelievable. They don't have anything to lose. They're all born with a silver or golden or platinum spoon in their mouth, and we don't have any spoon at all, or neither we don't have any mouth at all. So, yeah, it's a great learning curve. I've been very lucky to be training, these professionals from multi-sport. So it's a lot of interaction, a lot of learning, and how I was able to take cues from one sport to another and make it a crossover sport, crossover training protocols, and that gave me enough success, because your knowledge and your interaction with an expert on various fields has opened a new vista of thought process and putting my head on the block. Basically, I always do that. I may not be very boisterous or like a slave driver, my training mode. I'm very soft, basically. I would like to get the best out of the player, not push them hard and make them puke.
That doesn't get...
It doesn't augur well with my philosophy of work. If an athlete wants to be like a slave driver, you have to look out for somebody else. But as far as this gave me, this methodology, this approach gave me a lot of success.
Okay.
End of the day, what you want is your athletes to do well internationally. Be it Sharath Kamal, who is 42, he is as fit as any 20-year-old now.
Yeah. At the age of 42.
At the age of 42, competing. He is one of the oldest guy in the Commonwealth Games. Oldest to win a medal. So that means I know that I'm in the right path. So that is giving me confidence. That has given me exuberance, that has given me reaffirmation that we are on the right path of doing things. So it's a crossover. I get cues from one sport to another, so apply it to another sport. So that has given me enough success for my, not me enough success, sorry, My athletes,
for your athletes and
for my athletes, enough
eventually
success.
performance.
Eventually
Because that
perform
is the
without
main-
injuries.
Yeah.
Even if they have injuries, they come out of the injuries pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's the main.
That is
that's the
important. Yeah, if you are injured in India,
there's no athlete. If an
mainly
injured
it's a
athlete-
divine intervention.
right.
In India, you'll go from temples to temple or church or mosque, anywhere, wherever there are Guruji or Swamiji. It is not wrong, but that cannot be only thing which can cure you.
Right.
That means what we lack is professionals.
Yeah.
Enough sports medicine professionals, enough sports physiotherapists or rehabilitation specialists, recovery specialists. We don't have certain concept at all in our country. Then how can you talk about peak performance or high performance? We don't have that. Without those missing links, you cannot perform well. How many people have come out of the system, as I asked you earlier? Nobody has come out of the system. Don't tell Sindhu or Saina Nehwal or Abhinav Bindra or Neeraj Chopra or Mirabai Chanu and others came out of this particular system in India. Out of for 50 years, 60 years, 75 years independence, you have 10 people come out of the system here. Don't you think there's time for introspection?
Yeah. Numbers don't add up.
Numbers don't add up.
Don't add up.
That too recently only, not in the past.
Yeah. That's true.
So yeah, it's a learning curve. We keep learning every day, and I'm happy to learn from the youngsters because they come out with some phenomenal questions which you never even comprehend.
Yeah.
You know, that makes you think, makes you aware. Oh wow, that's a different way of what do you call approaching a problem. Yeah,
completely
true.
different perspective.
Absolutely, that is what is required.
Yeah.
We cannot go by set pattern. You cannot go by a book. You will stop where the book stops.
Right.
And you cannot have a sheep mindset. The problem in India as SNC or a physio is research proves that. Research proves that. What research proves? Have you done any research? Because case by case, what is pertinent for Americans or Australians or Europeans or colored people or even the Asians may not be pertinent to Indians. The way you deal with injuries and other things or training methodologies. Then okay, can we eat pasta every day? Or they can eat dal chawal every day?
Won't work.
It won't work.
Cultures are
Horses for the courses.
The environment's different. Culture.
So many variables are there. In addressing so many variables, you need to work out something very smart and very bespoke.
Right.
For that, you need to do your groundwork and research very well. You know,
Data.
unless and until you do your homework well, you don't get any answers. It cannot be cut and paste method. Long-term athletic development is cut and paste.
Yeah.
Indian ecosystem is completely different. It's unique. From north to south, east to west to central, everything is different. What is binding us? We're not talking politics here. There's no politics here. But what is binding us is some other thing.
Yeah.
So it's like physiologically we are different from north to south. Physiologically also we are different from east. And genetically we are different. And the food habits are different. Mindset is different. Lifestyle is different.
And this is all just within one country.
This is
so imagine
exactly
comparing different countries to India.
Exactly. In India itself, we call it unity in diversity. It's all nice, kind word. It's okay, good. But in sports, it's different ball game altogether.
Pan out when it comes to sports and performance.
Yes. It has to be different. You have to think differently.
Relating to our conversation earlier yesterday, you told us that when you had first joined this whole SNC environment, you all were using the Indian industry was using more protocols which were sent in from Australia and from abroad.
Yes.
And you were very instrumental in developing your own protocols and own systems to put in place for our Indian athletes.
Yep.
Did that make a huge difference in the performance?
Absolutely. I have proof of the pudding. Proof of the pudding is in eating, because most of the athletes, I defy certain things because beyond a point, it's not science. Strength and conditioning, all these things become an art. Art has got no limit. Science has got its own limitations. So I try to treat it as an art. Because you cannot define an artist by certain parameters.
Right.
It's completely, it is universal. So idea is deriving the best out of what is required within my knowledge, whatever knowledge I acquired about our people. I've devised these programs from a PACE Foundation to even the Indian team when I was there from 2009 to 13, and then with players, shuttle players, tennis players, rallies, racers, all my own protocol. But there will be crossover from other countries, but mainly what is specific to Indians, what is specific to a particular individual. I have broken down into to a particular individualized program for last 25 years.
Yeah. One shoe doesn't fit all.
Absolutely not.
When it comes to fitness, especially.
Totally not.
Right.
Totally not.
Yeah.
Why should we eat only vegan food or what do you call gluten-free food? Because somebody is eating, we follow. We have the sheep mindset. There is a very thin line between inspiration and copying.
I like that.
Yeah, very thin line. Or a willpower and foolishness, very thin line. Which category you belong to, it's for individual to decide.
That is true. How important is it to take these testing protocols for athletes? This is in terms of a SNC coach. So for an SNC coach, how important is it to go ahead with these testing protocols?
Absolute testing protocols are part and parcel of any program. Like your examinations, your testing, internals or externals, practicals or theory. It is part and parcel of any SNC protocol, be it general fitness or sports fitness, high performance levels. But the protocols would vary according to the sport, according to the skill. At the same time, what technology you're going to use varies, and it all depends on loads of factors. Like I can elaborate on this, but it'll take a long time. Maybe some other time when we have enough time to talk about it. But it's absolutely essential. At least test the athlete twice a year before the season, and maybe during the season something very light, to see whether he or she is in a good level of fitness where they are able to maintain injury free, etc. And in the future, your fitness testing and assessment would become redundant.
Okay.
Because the same test we have been doing for last 50 years. Except for few here and there sporadic one cropping up to do your aerobic fitness, like bleep run came in 80s and yo-yo came in 2000, late 90s and 2000s. Most of the testing protocols are same, which has been used for a long time. As the technology grows, you can have online information, on the go information about an athlete's all the parameters from speed, agility, strength, heart rate, your recovery, everything you name it, whatever you want to add on or subtract, you can have it anywhere in the world. Whether he's online, whether he's playing the game, or whether he's at the rest or recovery period or is off season, every information can be garnered in a press of a button. So you know when an athlete is completely fit and giving the best, what state of body and mind he is in, that can be replicated with his own data.
Okay. So it gives you your stress levels and
everything, you name it, because that person's data is own data to be compared with. He doesn't need to compare it with anybody else. End of the day, you fight your own demon, isn't it?
That's true. That's very true.
So you have your own data to fight, to be in there,
to be at the top level,
to be at the peak level. Yeah, man in the mirror. Simple analogy.
Can you run me through sports dynamics? What exactly is it about? How did this start off?
Yeah, when I resigned from the Indian team in 2013 because my mother expired and we had a family issue because my daughters were getting very restless because without me, I resigned, and I had to resign because it was going haywire, because 5 years on the move, living out of the suitcase with the Indian team, then IPL, then in between here and there racing. But during the 5 years I couldn't do anything. But before that I was involved with racing, A1GP and F1. I mean with Narayan and Arman Ibrahim, Aditya Patel, others also. So it was a very tough thing living out of suitcase for nearly 10-12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 2005 onwards.
Constantly on the move.
On the move, I was getting mentally tired and mentally fatigued, because also that was not the time for me. I couldn't educate myself. I couldn't learn a lot of things because I was on the move. I would be lying if I learned looking at them. No. Because I was preoccupied with my own job, and because I have to manage 18 players at any point of time. Uh, yeah, then I resigned and I want to do something for sport. I have to walk the talk or put my money where the mouth is. I'm not a multi-billionaire, but middle class. I mean, middle class family, and we started the sports dynamics. It's a humble beginning in Chennai, and we have been very lucky. I have a fantastic team with me. Good SNC, good physios, good nutritionists. We handpicked them. Those who have been with us from the beginning. All of them are there from the beginning. It's been 10. It's going to be 10 years. Very lucky to have them. It's the end of the day. It's all teamwork. My name will bring in people, but if I don't give result, my name is finished.
And there's no backing to it.
Absolutely, there has to be backing. That's a teamwork. So I never depended on my name alone, because end of the day, it's a parent and it's a coach. It's a trust of the institution which we have to give results. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. No point. We take only sports people. I was very clear on that. We take 50 people per annum. That's it. Not more than that. We are maintaining that in the last 10 years.
Okay, well. So
I'm not a businessman. No, I'm not a businessman. I don't know business. I'm doing it out of passion, and I want to give whatever results to the best of our knowledge and ability to the parents and the kids, so that some of them, we know that they may not go to the higher level, but at least they'll get scholarship in America, or
have that support
to take the scholarship. Yes, exactly. So that they can get good scholarship in good universities. So that is also return on investment.
I think.
I mean, if I'm talking business.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that is the last thing we know. And we have been doing good, and we are going for. Now we are slowly stepping it up with bigger projects and bigger thing, and we have also tied up with a phenomenally amazing organization called IISM, and it's a good source of inspiration for me, especially Nilesh and the entire team here working here is absolutely brilliant. Don't worry, nobody paid me for this. I don't normally take anything. Voluntarily, when Nilesh called me, I immediately agreed to it. Super people and super professionals, super working culture. I mean, the entire place is so vibrant. And it's great to work here and great learning curve for me, because youngsters ask some unbelievable questions. They try to put me in a fix, but somehow I escape.
Yeah, I think that's the whole learning curve.
Absolutely.
Come, you find the answers, you keep moving.
Totally.
And I think it's really great what you're doing with Sports Dynamics, because there are not a lot of companies which supply the performance side of it, so they're not really factoring the performance part. And there are not a lot of companies that are also providing scholarships and a future plan to athletes in case injury or something cuts their dream short. So I think that's really good.
Yeah, we are doing whatever we can from our domain. As we grow, we want to people also to grow along with us.
Definitely.
The athletes, the sports person, the sponsorship, etc., etc. We want to get involved and do our best. Whatever. It's one lifetime, create some mark and leave, do some good thing and leave. Your time is limited. So I'm happy, we are in a happy, very happy space, and no complaints, So we'll progress to the next level soon. You'll know about it.
My next question is, through your many years of training, I'm sure you've trained males and females. So what are the various things coaches today should keep in mind while training female athletes? In terms of your female athlete triad and the REDS protocol and stuff?
Oh yeah, it's a very good question, because recently we have seen a lot of these cases, and I think I remember seeing something in Netflix also regarding the US gymnast, which happened in 70s and 80s, which came into light only now. Shocker, absolute shocker. It's a shame.
But that was just being pushed over the limit.
Because of power of coaches, power and influence, and their contacts with the ministers or politicians or the influencers or the people those who cough up. End of the day, money is not everything, power is not everything. Individual self-respect we should you're born with it, you're going to die with it. Don't decimate their self-respect. Never. He may be, or she may be poor or rich, but they'll have self-respect. Respect that and work towards that. That is one thing from one angle. And women are no less to men. Trust me on this. They are as tough, and their pain threshold is more than men when it comes to pain threshold. We have seen, and it is. I think it's also researched. The pain threshold for women can bear more pain and take on more pain than men, and they are second to none. In many of the countries, many of the athletes, you see elite athletes are beating some of the men athletes in our own country itself. The performance, what do you have to say for that? Exactly.
Nothing.
So it's not a shame. They are on par with you in some other countries. You cannot pick and choose your cherries according to your convenience. See in a holistic way. See in a universal way. See, very important is that. And their training and their protocol, there are certain things that will vary. Because a lot of physiological parameters are there. You need to be very, very mindful of those things and work towards certain type of exercises which gives them the best results possible. Because physiologically they are different.
Right.
It is not psychologically. Psychologically, personally, I feel they are much more stronger than men. 100%. 100%.
I agree with you on that.
Yes. And physiologically they are different. I won't say they are weak.
So it's just different physiological.
Absolutely, they are made differently.
Right.
It doesn't mean they are weak. Or we are very strong. Okay, we are very strong physiologically. Strength to strength or power to power, you compare, okay, fine. Naturally it is done. But doesn't make one above the
the same level. It's
absolutely
not
same level.
Forward or below. Right.
And their protocols need to be completely different. During taking a lot of things into consideration.
Right.
And see the Olympics, how many women won the medals for India?
More than men.
See, nobody talks about it. Why nobody talks about it? Their commitment and dedication is second to none. When they embark on something, they give their best. But they should not be exploited, which is happening quite a lot.
Too often.
And a lot of cases have happened recently. Even in Chennai and Tamil Nadu, some coaches. It's an utter shame. It's an aberration of thought process by the coaches or the support system who's supporting them. People like this, it's an aberration of a society, for the society. You cannot say innocent until proven guilty. We're not running a court case here. We're not running a mock court here.
I think the facts also.
When it's coming out itself, there is something wrong with it. You have to arrest it in the initial stages itself. This is wrong. This is completely wrong. This cannot happen. They trust in a girl or girl child comes and trust a coach or the system. How can you even think about? You'll have your daughters and sisters, no? When somebody does it to you or your family,
mindset changes.
Entire thing changes.
How could they do this?
I want to eat biryani, you eat curd rice. How is it possible?
It's not right.
Not right. Not at all right.
I think
we have to grow up on that. We have to grow up on accepting women are equally good and they are on par with men. 100%. There is no negative, no women's right lib or all those things. We're not talking about that. As far as sports is concerned, both are equal.
Right.
No two ways about it as far as I'm concerned. People may agree, may not agree. They may think I'm talking through the hat. It's their problem. Right. It's not my problem. I have told my point of view. I don't worry about others' opinion. If I'd have worried, I wouldn't have been where I'm here now. Period.
Yeah, that's true. I'll close this up now. So, joining this industry, was this something you'd always wanted to do? And also, was there a lot of pressure from your family, friends, telling you that, oh, maybe you shouldn't be getting into this, do something else, take a more mainstream job? Because I feel even today, I want to be a strength and conditioning coach, and I have a lot of peers who also want to do the same thing. And there's still a lot of pressure, lots of questions like, is this something you really want to do? Is there money in this industry? Can you make it over here? Is this successful? So did you face any sort of issues?
Absolutely not. I'll be telling if I like one of those movie scripts.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things are scripted, See, when I was a child itself, I had a dream. What dream? To become a strength and conditioning coach? Please, I'll be lying. I never even thought about this field. This was the last option I had. I wanted to go to US and do my MS. I was very, very interested in astrophysics.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I couldn't go because of my family problem. I was the only child. So my father wouldn't let me out anywhere. As a typical Tambram, he wanted me to do CA.
Yeah.
Which me and mathematics are light years apart. So that never happened.
Yeah.
So then I thought of I wanted to become an IPS officer. IAS. I passed my prelims.
Okay.
But again, second main thing, my parents refused to let me go out because being the only child, I was doing everything for them. And my father was constantly falling sick.
Okay.
So being the only child, my responsibility is to take care of them.
Yeah.
And finally, he passed away later. But still, by the time much water has flown under the bridge, the last thing, because of my athletic background, I thought even if I keep a kirana shop, it's my own thing. I don't want to work under anybody. That mindset came in. Even a small shop, any shop, it'll be mine. I'm the boss. I may earn 50 rupees a day, I may earn 5,000 rupees a day, it doesn't matter.
You're working for yourself.
I'm working for myself, I'm happy, and I'll find like-minded people to work with me. That's what happened. I came into this field because my background in athletics, everything was trial and error initially. There was nothing available then. So it was looked down upon. Then what is this? Strength fitness trainer, it was called. Gym master originally. Then it became master. Then it became fitness instructor. Then it became trainer. See how it has evolved. Then it became fitness trainer. Then it became strength and conditioning. Then it became coach. Then it became strength and conditioning coach. Now it has become strength and conditioning specialist. Then evolution is sports scientist. So this evolution we have seen over a period of time. The evolution of what you call SNC in India. I hope it doesn't stop here. We have miles to go.
No, I don't think it will.
No, it won't. It won't. I think it's got a fabulous future.
Yeah.
And a lot of institutes are coming and a lot of courses are coming. A lot of things are opening up for our students. I know a couple of my students have gone to UK and US and they are working with professional teams.
Okay.
I'm very happy about it. That means that we are also on the right path.
Right.
We are in tandem with them. And it's a huge future is there. Absolute fantastic future. And to climb to the excellence, you have to be in a slightly different, you have to think out of the block.
Yeah.
And you cannot go by the same rule.
Can't go by the book.
You cannot. You cannot. You should not. You should not. Absolutely. Any adaptable person is more successful.
I think just like sports, even SNC has a very similarity since in every sport you're changing. It's not
constant change. Change is constant.
Change, yeah. So even in SNC, there's constant change in the methods you're using, protocols.
Research what is right yesterday may not be right today, or vice versa. But it's constant evolution. Evolution is happening. You go with the evolution. And you take a separate path of evolution where you want to be. That is when you put your head on the block and evolve. So it's a fabulous thing, provided you have an aptitude for it. Very important is to develop an aptitude. If you are or not be pushed into it because everybody is doing it, then it will become like engineering degree or BSc, BCom, SNC, and your BE. All these things will be in the same category. If you want to be in a different level, put your head on the block, think differently. And you should have the passion and aptitude. Finally, if you don't enjoy whatever you're doing, you're not going to improve. Anything which you do,
sort of love factor,
you should enjoy. You should enjoy what you're doing. You may have less money, but at the same time, you'll enjoy what you're doing. That will bring you success.
You think that played a huge role in what's got you to where you are today?
Absolutely.
That you actually enjoyed.
I
it, because
enjoyed-
you were an athlete earlier as well, and that's just carried
I
on.
thoroughly enjoyed every day. Each day I used to look forward to, wow, today is a new day.
Yeah.
What can I do something different?
That's
Now,
great.
looking back, I'm not creating any script or when I was saying in 1921, when we never had anything, all those unverifiable stories I will not say. That also gyan we don't give. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And I enjoy what I'm doing. I look forward to interacting with my athletes and with my fellow companions, my people. Enjoyable. Every moment I enjoy. I may not be a multi-millionaire. I don't run after money. I'm very clear about it. I didn't want to run after money. If you are going to mark my success with money, what car I drive, what watch I wear, what shoes I wear, what belt I wear, what wallet I carry, where do I eat fine dining or what do you call Michelin star hotels, cafe.
Right.
I'm a very, very poor man. If you're going to compare my success rate to money, I'm a very, very poor man and utter state of poverty. So I'm in a happy space.
Yeah.
So nobody can quantify that. If I'm in a happy space, I'm in a happy space.
I think that's the most important.
Very important.
With any profession, not only SNC, but any profession.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the happiness. You need to really enjoy what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Great
and
having
thank
you
you
on
for having me here for such long time.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you so
We'll
much.
catch
Thank
up
you
soon.
for the time.